Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday. We have some new faces on here. I was just looking at the name Joy last night. Joy joined us, and Joy's here with us today. I was like, Joy, this is my favorite word. It's a big sign in my house with lights. I showed her my picture every morning. I walk into my living room, and there it is. But that's meant we'll have many faces joining us. Welcome to our Saturday morning Bedrock team training. For those of you, as a reminder, or that are new, Bedrock is a group of unified leadership, and you're all a part of that. And what Bedrock stands for is a sure foundation and the fundamental principles upon which something is built, which is so metaphoric and interesting to us talking about this balance oil as being a fundamental piece. I'm a basketball player, played in university, and we always would do fundamentals. And every athlete kind of hates to do the fundamentals because it's not the fun part, like you just want to play. But the fun part, the fundamentals, you always went through it. You'd be dribbling, shooting, all the fundamentals of something. And we are here Saturday morning to do that for each other, to have this be a sure foundation for you guys and the principles upon which this is all built. We're always here to engage, to empower, and to equip each other, which is all about connection and then building confidence through competence in some of the things that we've been learning. We're all brand new at this. I guess there's going to be a time where we can't quite say that, but this has been a real hot new thing for us the last 6 or 7 weeks, and what a ride that it has been. So good morning. One of my favorite things is to see all your faces on Saturday mornings, and share. We've got such exciting news in the 6 or 7 weeks. We've been busy. We've been busy trying to simplify a lot of these things because, as you guys know, we talk often about anyone kind of getting involved in any venture. The things they're always thinking about are what is the risk? What's the reward for that? And we're always like, is it worth it? So the risk and the reward, but probably the biggest one always is, can I do this? Can I do this? And so we want to make sure that people feel like it's a yes. And that's often done through simplification and not talking about the entire mountain, but just the first rung, the first step, what's next. And so we're going to share some of that with you this morning. I was going to bring, and what we're going to cover this morning is a condensed fast start. What do you got to do? Where do you find that in your back office so that you have a visual mixed with the knowledge? We were going to talk about how we can self-qualify. I've had some aha moments in the last 3 days. How do we self-qualify for that first step in fast start and for our Zin for free? I know all of us have a favorite word called free. Amazing products. How do we get them for free? And then some customer acquisition that our Barry Hughes himself. I can't wait to introduce you to him for the new him to you for you new people. And then knowing the tools that we have. It's one thing to have a toolbox filled with tools, but you don't even know what the tools do or where they are. And we've just been working hard to try to simplify this. And I saw what the team and Vanita and Chastity have created for us, and I wanted to cry last night. I was like, oh my gosh, it's just that, and that's tears from just like, oh, this is going to make things so much easier. And so they both have somewhere to be. So I'm going to introduce Vanita on the call this morning. She is going to walk through what we have here. And for those of you that are new, we just came from really like a startup. We didn't have a lot of tools at all, nothing, into all of a sudden so many videos, so many tools, but they're in so many places that what we wanted to do is, how do we get all of that amazing information and tools available to us in kind of a one-stop place for duplication for our people. And so Vanita, Vanita is ridiculously gifted. One of the things I love about this team is that everyone gets to bring their gifts and bring them together, and magical things happen. So Vanita, you're going to share your screen, I'm assuming, instead of me, but I'm going to introduce you now to show us what we've got. I feel like we need a drum roll. I want velvet curtains to be able to open this. It's not even sufficient enough, but this is my best.
Hey, the best, your best is always good enough. I used to always
Mhm.
tell my kids, go make it a great day. And then I would say, did you do your best? And I think that's all that we can do in this life is make it a great day, right? Because circumstances are going to come at us. But then we have the choice to make it a great day. And then if we all do our best as a collective, we all have gifts and talents that whenever we do them, time stands still for us. And so I am always open to suggestions. The Chastity and Chat GPT made a flyer this week to put in your test kits whenever you're sending it out, and she sent it over to me. And Chat GPT will sometimes get it wrong. They'll have some misspelled, or like the language is just kind of wonky. And so that's my vibe. Like, I can tear that thing apart, get the background, and put the information in. You can find that in the boards and in the social media group. We'll get it on bedrockacademy.org. If you don't have that written down, write it down right now. Bedrockacademy.org. I'm going to share my screen. So I cannot take credit for this. This is Chastity's brainchild, and whoever else worked on her with this to get it all the guts in there. And so I just went in and just kind of fluffed it up. You know, you have somebody that comes in and does the baseboards and all the things, and then there's somebody that comes in and fluffs the pillow. I'm a pillow fluffer. And so here I am with bedrockacademy.org. And so if I want you to pull it up on your phone. If you see that something is not displaying properly, please let me know, because we're all learning. And so you may be a step ahead knowing something that I don't know. And I would love your input. And so as you can see, there's a cute little menu right here at the top with some little lights and some feel good. And so it just gives you some places to start, right? And so these are just clickable links that are going to take you to different places on the page. So you have About Zenzino. If you see anytime any kind of overlaps happening, I want screenshots of that so I can try to troubleshoot it. This morning, somebody had a video and it was asking for access through the email. And so I reached out and I said, where did you get that link? What does it say? And so there's a Drive link going around for the Gift of Knowing conference that was done in Dallas. That is now going to be found under replays. So if you have that Drive link and you're not able to access it, no worries. You'll go to replays. You have the launches that I have videos for. If you have videos that you'd like to share, please get them to your leadership so we can get them uploaded. We have some Saturday collectives from February. This is our third week in February since we came back from Orlando with all this wonderful information. There was a Zoom the other day on the compensation plan. It's already there, y'all. And so give us 48 hours to get a video here, if not 3 days. Like sometimes it happens on the weekend. And I know we're excited for replays, but there's a chain of events that have to happen. And so momentum, we're still working on this page. There's some information that needs to be streamlined here, and we're working on the momentum page, but replays is where it's at. And Academy is where it's at. So start here. The test, what is the test about? Right? Then you have your Academy Hub, Medium, the Omega Miracle, the number you don't know, your boards, the Zenzino Play, Zenzino TV, the school where all the great resources are that we're trying to pull together for you. There's also some quick links to some presentations for medical professionals and so forth. Then you have a Bedrock Academy weekly schedule here where you can click through to get to the information live as it's happening. There are trainings for everything. If you have questions, get on a training. If you don't understand, get on a training that applies to what you're looking for, or go play a replay. And so if you're wanting to know how to set up a subscription, that's at the bottom of that page. And so that's really all I have aside from that's it. That's all I have.
Benita, can you cover the just testingforchange.org? That is embedded in this page, and that's something you created that has, I can't imagine how many hits that already has, but just to let people know where that is. And once you save this on your phone, desktop, keep it as a tool in your toolbox. But I want them to see the testing for change as well.
Okay, perfect. So whenever you're on, you go to the Academy, it goes to this page. It is the first slide about Zenzino, share our approach, testingforchange.com. And that's going to open up. And it looks really big right here, but there is a mobile version. And it's super streamlined also. It has the video with Hilda. For more information, get back to the person who shared this with you. So this will always be just generic with new information about Zenzino, shareable stuff. This goes to the Google search. If they open it, it goes straight to the Google search. Zenzino has a solution, 2.5-minute video, the most important you didn't know, number you didn't know, and then Dr. Colin. So some really short videos, a little video on the gut health test, and then it has another click-through link that goes to Zenzino TV. So we're leading them to get more information that is unbranded to anybody. So you don't have to worry about giving them this link and it going to somebody that you don't know. And so that's always important to know. And once you get there, they can click through and see categories and all kinds of stuff if they're nosy. And that is really
I love
There's
it.
the link
So
up there.
I love it so much. So, guys, this was just the effort to put everything in one place so that you have an access point. And when you go to something, whether it's the weekly calls, that link, you can shoot that directly to them. So, we hope that you find value in this. Please know that this is a collective. We are a collective leadership group. This is not one person. This is everybody. And so, if you see something, say something. Something needs to change. If you find a resource that's important to you, you see us misspelling, guys, this is presentation of our team, so own it. And so if you see something, let us know. We're going to continue to evolve this page, and just so thankful. Benita, I have to take the time to just say thank you for your willingness. As she said, yesterday or the day before, I was sending out some tests for a promo, and I was using a sticky note, and that sticky note would have sufficed. It would have been fine. But then I said, okay, let me do this. And then she just jumped right in and said, not I can do it better. She said, how can I help you and how can I improve it? And then y'all saw the final product. So that's what we are. That is the collective and the collaboration that we are. We're here to help one another be the best version of ourselves. So thank you, Vanita, for your servant leadership heart. And I'm excited to see these tools get used over and over. Pass it back to you, Ariana.
Hey, real quick, I'm going to share that screenshot of that mail out test arrival instructions. Can y'all see it?
Yeah, we can.
Yes. Okay, good. There you go. Now y'all see it. That's in your boards and in your in the Facebook group. Ta-da.
Who else is as excited about that?
I'm very excited.
I can't even handle it. Like, okay, wait, let me let someone in. Vinita, Chastity. So this was absolutely Chastity's brainchild, and Chastity will never ever look for applause or look for recognition. None of us do that for that. She just wants to help, and how do we make this better? It's like Steve Jobs always was infamously known for saying, how do we improve this? How do we make this better? It's always like, what can we do? So it is literally, yeah, it's just so incredible. So, now, instead of you guys going anywhere, please, please, please get to know this Bedrock Academy. Like anything you could think you would want to know or have access to, it's in there. And how amazing for that is when you guys go, how do I share this? Because lots of times when we recruit people, we feel steward over that. And we're like, it's so great to know that no matter who you bring on, no matter who comes on your team, they have step number one is we teach them about the fast start, which we're going to, and this Bedrock Academy, everything they and then you lose it. It's always available and will be updated. And by the way, some of those replays, we just got some of the replays that are in there, we just got started. And so if you see them, get replaced with more polished, more, better, shorter versions of launches, we will keep that updated in there. I do want to say this. All we can ever do is share our own personal experience, and I can't pretend to be you. But if you guys have not watched, and she put it in there under replays, when you scroll down, it says the gift of knowing. Chastity, God bless her, and that group were privileged to meet with Dr. Colin, who is the chief science officer of Zinzino, flew across the ocean to come to Dallas, and the owner, Orion Sali, and the general manager of North America, Art Jonak, all were in Dallas, close to Chastity and the group, last minute, with 3 days notice, got in, and they said, hey, Chastity, if you have some people you want to meet with these guys, they're happy to meet with you. And so she filled a room last minute on Valentine's Day, and thank goodness she lived it. She Facebook lived the whole thing, and I watched 2 hours of it. And I want you to know that up to that point, had had a lot of discussions. Up to that point, I'd read and watched a lot of things. I went to the Orlando North American event. But I'll tell you what, that 2 hours inspired me more than anything I have watched thus far. It was so good because it was so personal. And if you wonder the character and the groundedness and confidence and centeredness of the leadership here, it's a vibe. Like you can't fake it. Like and that, he's my new science crush, Dr. Colin. But it's amazing. So please, just like a podcast in your car, while you're walking, while you're making dinner, just listen to it. I'm saying that to you because what we're always trying to do is increase our belief, because to talk about things we believe in is just such a natural process. And that's what we're doing here. I starting with that, because I want to make sure that we're sensitive to time to go over the things that I want to today. They're going to be so great for you. I do know that number one thing is starting conversations that count. And so we want to talk about customer acquisition. This is a build where what I love about it is that no matter who I share with, because I know that I want this oil and this concept and everyone to know their number so badly, I'm detached to whether or not they get involved as a partner, whether they want to join me in business, even whether or not they want to be a customer. All I'm attached to is that they know that it exists. Here's a test. Here's the problem. There's a test that can help you. Do you want to know your number? All right, but I can be detached from that, but my job is to be a voice, it's to be a vessel, it's to be the promoter, which just means let it be known. And a lot of us are struggling with that. And talking to Barry this morning or last night, he was like, "Hey, let's talk about this, because I'm getting this a lot where people are like, how do I start this conversation?" And I don't know someone better than this. For those of you that are new, Barry Hughes and Chastity Marie are the kind of the three people here that started this concept of Bedrock, because we all had teams and we all believed that we could build a hero in this industry, that we could change some of the things that we didn't love about it, which was, can we unify leadership? Can we show up as a united force for the betterment of us? Like, it's so much more fun to link arms with people, but also for our teams to have intersected leadership and access to different strengths and different types of personalities and people for even the build. Barry is a one percenter. Barry has a teaching background, pharmaceutical sales background, but is a one percenter in the world of network marketing. I mean, when you think of incomes and the team build, he grew a global international business and made millions and millions of dollars in network marketing in a short period of time, and is here with us today, excited about Zinzino, but has an incredible gift of knowledge in when it comes to customers and customer acquisition. So I'm going to hand it over to you, B.
Well, thank you very much. And what a great start to our Saturday morning here, everyone. Yes, I am in Florida. Finally is warm here consistently, so I'm happy about that. And obviously, what tools Chastity working her magic with her team, with Vanita and so many others who add so much value to us. So thank you so much for that. I know everybody's excited to have tools. And when we have some that are the very best in the industry, it makes our job so much easier. And Ariana for always being so organized. Man, it's just nice to have partnerships where the synergy complements each other. And I'm just so grateful to be in this partnership. So, and to most of all of you, because we started basically over, and then to have a great group showing up Saturdays is wonderful. So one of the questions I've been getting a lot with people is that they just really don't know how to have this conversation. It's not, I'm hearing the word awkward a lot. These are awkward conversations to have with people. And only if you let them be, I think, is the best answer I can come up with. They're only awkward if you let them be, because ultimately the principles of network marketing have not changed just because the product has, right? So let's keep that in mind. The principles of network marketing do not change. We still just have regular conversations with regular people. I find this is the easiest conversation starter I've ever had, because I can go down literally any path. And what I usually use, so I made some notes today describing what I would normally do. So I normally want to find out, do I think the person's curious? Are they a person that might be just curious? So when I'm trying to relate information or I'm reaching out to somebody, so first of all, there's lots of ways we can reach out. Are we going to reach out in social media? I think social media is a gift to us all, but I think it's secondary to our immediate networks. Our immediate networks, I think, the people we care about. And I know it's so cliche, and some people you'll be reading on social media, and some people say, oh yes, your leaders are wrong because they're telling you to talk to the people that you love. Hogwash. That is complete bunk and hogwash. The people you love and care about, if we can't talk to the people we love and care about at the top of our list, who are we going to talk to? Like, if we're talking about something as important as, I guess, an omega-6 to 3 ratio solution that is not even being tested in our family practice doctors, let alone being talked about in our medical communities, then who better to be talking to than our closest people? If you knew somebody could be affected whose husband's a walking time bomb, you can see his face is cherry red, you know he's overweight, you know he's drinking beer 5 nights a week. I feel obligated to have that conversation at this point. So I really want you to start gaining some posture and some confidence in this area. These are areas where if somebody was going to come to your house and they get liquored right up and they can't possibly drive a vehicle home, would you let them get in a car and drive home that night? Right? That's a comparable. I look at this the same way. I would not let somebody get in a car and drive home. So I'm not going to let somebody that I know is an obvious health risk to themselves go without talking to them either. I look at it in the same breath of light. I feel obligated. I feel like it's my role to have to speak to these people. And I'm looking at the age of most of the people here. You're all seasoned veterans like myself. So, given that, you all have people that fit into these categories, and they're the easiest ones to talk to. Sorry, Nate and Arthur are blowing up my phone. It's totally distracting me over here. I don't know what they want. They know we have a meeting this morning, but anyway, they're all over me like a bad rash, 2 calls in a row. So what I want to really focus on today is going back to the beginning, right? You're having real relationships with people, but having them with your radar on, thinking about what are they telling me? What clues are they being given me? Form still is a relevant proposition here. Friends and family, occupation. I use some people like the R to be, I like recreation. Some people like the M to be motivation. I like money. I use money for my M in form. You know why? Because I ask permission. Hey, are you set up? Are you retired, bro? Are you looking at moving on in the next 10 years? Is things going to work okay for you? Or are you finding yourself, going to be in a minimized job creation platform when you're 60 years old, nobody wants to hire you, but you don't have enough money to retire? Where are you going to fall? I think money's relevant, but you just got to ask for permission first. So I do ask for permission first. Then I start to look for, are they curious? Do they need it? And then what does that person need from me? Do they need education? So do they need me to put them on a call with, Michelle Nelson? Or, gosh, Ariana's just hit the vein of holistic medical practitioner gold. And, knowing that we have available to us resources that are every bit, I know Dr. Tompkin, Dr. Lewis, and our new best friend, Dr. Dr. Hunk, Mr. Clayton, Dr. Clayton here are all in the mix. But we have, Dr. Marlise, we have Michelle Nelson here, her and our other partner, Darlene Wappler, they've been doing some amazing lives with massive knowledge in their field. So like I look to say, okay, who do I have and what do they need from me? Do they need education? Do they need medical education? Do they need industry education? Do they need to know how durable this company is? Like, again, this isn't your regular network marketing company. This is one that is publicly traded. That means it's got a fiduciary responsibility to always provide the most current and up-to-date information every 3 months. These are important selling points that people need to know. Why? Because it instills confidence. So I want you to be really thinking about that in your curiosity hooks. If you want to be, do they require education? Are they relatable? Do you need to be relatable for them? Meaning, okay, well, you suffer from neuropathy. I suffer from neuropathy. Maybe I can help you. Soft personal shares. This is my experience taking the product. These are important ways to start sharing things. Engagement questions. Have you ever done a home health test before? Well, most people have, because if you ever got life insurance, they come to your house and a nurse shows up and pokes you, right? So most people have had some experience in that, except for you get to do this one yourself. So you can have these questions. Are you currently taking omega-3s? There's gentle call to action situations you can have, meaning if you're curious, I can show you. If I'm happy to share what I'm doing, if it interests you, Message me if you'd like to see what being in balance might look like for you. These are simple conversation starters that I think are really important, you guys. Lead with education, share your own experiences, ask questions instead of pitching. I feel like I've seen a lot of pitching going on in social media and not a lot of question asking. Questions are what really counts. And the best way to have those are using social media to get a live conversation or create a call to action to move people down the continuum. Now, blood tests. I want to move forward into some blood tests because and by the way, I've got some notes I made and I use Chat GPT to refine them. And I'll see if I can, let's see if the techie in me can do this. Let me see if I can attach the Chat GPT link that I created that would have all these answers of things that I plugged in. I worked on this last night. So I think I might be able to do it for you. So if I can, I will. If I can, I'll figure out another way to attach them all. But the blood tests. So each of you came to Orlando had UPK kits, so Ultimate Partner Kit recipients. You all had bought one, and you were given another 5 kits. And I'm just looking at our sales results, so I know all those kits aren't gone, right? Because I know how much is out, how much inventory is out there. So this becomes the next major tool, our test kits, to create an opportunity. And this is what, just a couple of the ideas that I've been hearing out there that are being used. They're really smart. Well, number one, I like to engage it, especially when I find a couple. So if I see one person, I say, okay, listen, I'm willing to give you this free blood test kit if you're willing to make an order right now. That means you're going to get a test kit and your spouse can have a test kit. So I'm going to give you this one blood test kit I have for free if right now you're willing to do an order for a blood test kit and oil for you and your spouse. That's a really nice way to introduce 2 people for the price of 1 to our concept and test both. Because, what happened was I only tested me and my family. And it's an interesting thing that's happened. My wife finally came to me and said, well, am I not going to test? And I said, well, I don't know. Are you? I don't force you to do anything because my wife, just so you know, is a federal homicide investigator. And yeah, she's pretty badass. But at the same time, when it comes to my business, I don't push my business on even my own wife. So she had to ask me, including my father-in-law in there, Gary, who has now heard me have many, many conversations. People are listening all the time. And Gary has now asked me, what about me? Am I getting a test? I got a box of 40 of them sitting in my living room. They're all getting, give me your finger, as Nathan would say, give me your finger. I'm going to get their fingers while they're here. But I want you to really focus in on using the tests as a tool that lead to future business, not a giveaway. They are not a giveaway. That's not what if you're giving a test away, I promise you, if there's no skin in the game, 90% of the people are going to let them collect dust. And then what I've learned becomes the most important thing is the follow-up. And you can see that I'm going to wrap it back around over to Vanita, who just showed us that amazing tool she left, which is a linear progression of what to do. Get the test, sign up for zinzotest.com. You want to make sure they're registering their test right out of the gate so that they're already set up. And we have a nice little graphic to teach people how to do this. So make sure they get that graphic when they get their test. And I got a heart from Chastity, so I know I'm saying the right things.
And just a reminder, take a picture of that number because you need
Yes.
that to log back in.
Because people like Kyle misplace their test numbers and then are scrambling around looking for it. Sorry for the call out, Kyle, but you get what you earn, bro.
Hey,
And
quick,
yes,
Barry, there's a Canadian one that has the actual address that you mail
the
your test
Concord
to.
address.
Yes.
Yes, I saw
So there
that.
are 2 different flyers.
I saw that you refined it and posted on the flyer. Thank you, Vanita, for that clarification.
That
So
was a win-win.
process win-win. Well, it takes a team to get the magic to happen, you guys, and we certainly have that going on here. So I want to remind you guys that everything here has a process, everything has a purpose. This is a complete package. It's a duplicatable model. The key to getting your businesses ramped up are starting to have better dialogues with the people that you're talking to. And I'm going to tell you this right now, unless you're getting people live on the phone, they can't hear your excitement. This is not a put the product on today and it works today deal. This is a put the product on today and you watch what happens to your body over the next month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. I'm living testament. I have not had my topical application now that I was using before in 3 weeks. I have had zero inflammation, zero pain, and I am not taking what I was taking 4 to 5 days a day before this. I'm telling you guys, like, I know this has had some kind of crazy result for me from an inflammation standpoint. My inflammation is almost at a ground level of zero, and I'm happy to have these conversations. I don't want to hog up all the time because I know Ariana's got many things to cover. I want to have more intimate conversations. If anybody really wants to learn how to have great dialogues, great conversation starters, I've got a lot more I can give you. I just can't take up the whole morning. This is a whole hour on itself. Thank you. Kyle, I see your hand went up. But
Yeah, I just got a quick question. So with regards to like how if we offer the test and we get them on the subscription, how do we kind of convert that so they get that other test in the 4 months if they're just buying the jumping on subscription and we offer them the test? How are you?
well, they're gonna be creating a subscription for themselves, right? And if they're gonna just one guy's just gonna create the oil, you should create a subscription for both of them. They each get their own. So you can just you can buy an oil and then you can buy a test later. Or you know what, if you're a good customer and they're actually following through the protocol, I'll give them a second test. I
Okay.
would give them a second test to help them out if they actually follow through and order the products.
Okay.
Very in that situation. So if they, you, one person does the subscription and they get the test and the oil, and then you give, if they create just a subscription for oil, would
Yep.
they get the test in the fifth
No.
month?
No,
Okay.
they have to have a test bot. That's why, you're going to have to be prepared to either give a second test or let them know at the outset to order their own subscription accounts. And then they can maybe use that test to gift to somebody else as part of their, hey, would you like to get yours for free? Right? If you want to get yours for free, you have a spare test now to give someone to pay it forward. We could start this pay it forward notion, you guys, where we're doing somebody a favor, paying it forward, right? So great question, Tekla. But that's what I've been doing is saying, leading it down a path of continuum. And then you want to teach everybody to say, I don't care if you want to do the business, 4 people who could benefit from our protocol. And why wouldn't you like to get your oil for free every month? Okay, sorry, Ariana. I know you got a bunch to cover.
What are you saying? Sorry. Don't ever be sorry. Everyone gives Barry some love. That was so great. I do have some thoughts on that as well. I just want to make sure that, you want to make sure that you guys are just on the topic of this quickly, and then we'll close it up. Be mindful of who you give tests away to. Like, this is the problem with you guys we're all very nice-hearted, good-hearted people. But what happens is that you stop putting yourself on the clearance rack. Like you are worth being in the glass closed thing that you need a key to open. And I believe that we have that here. So your posture has a lot to do with what you think. Is this a diamond underneath the glass that you need to get someone to, right? Or this is so now Chastity, when she was posting that, Chastity has some people that she knows that have great influence, and she knows they don't have great influence because they say so. In their experience, they have an audience, they have a steward of people. In that case, when it makes sense that you would gift them a test, with the caveat, by the way, because just so you know, there are people who spend money on Facebook ads, on Instagram ads, and sometimes they go, would I spend $115 on Facebook ads, or would I spend $115 by giving an influencer a test for free, of which I tell them to tag me in, and I get access to all of their audience for the same advertising cost, if that makes sense. So there's Chastity, there's a lot of thought behind, and certainly intention and strategy behind that, because the number one rule of business is stay in business. So don't just be going out and giving things. 100% Barry's correct that we put value on what we pay for, or that they're setting a proper expectation. However, I know that if you give someone a test, and we know Dr. Colin at that February Valentine's event just said, don't be fooled. Like, when we say 97% of people fail the test, it's probably 100 as far as you're concerned. Like, you might never, ever meet anyone in your circles that pass that test. So assume it's 100% of people that fail. If I give out a test for free, to be very selective about that, but if I did, and I know that they're going to fail that test, guess what happened? And they're going to get on oil. They'll get it on an oil that we want them to do that. But come fourth month, even if I didn't give them another test, guess what they want? A test. Like, because they saw their failed number, they've been on this oil. If you ever thought they wanted to know their number before, bro, they want to know their second number, right? If they didn't get their first number. So guess what? They're buying a test and an oil because they want the test at that point. So then they can buy the balance oil and test. You know why? Because they'll still want the oil, right? And they'll still want another test, so they can then buy the balance oil and test that they weren't buying the first month that you gave them a test for free. Because I know, like I know they will, the value of what you offered them now has gone drastically up. They want their number. I ain't giving them another test for free. They can now then buy that test and the oil. They'll have that again. And yes, then a test will come 4 months later. But guess what? You don't think people want to know their number again the fourth month? Because so just we'll talk about that, but we have a great system here. I 100% know that, just like if I'm here telling you guys about reading my horoscope, you're like, hey, that's really great for you, Ariana. I love your horoscope, but where's my horoscope? Right? You guys know how this goes. In a group photo, when you look at a group photo from Orlando, who are you looking at? Not everybody else first. You find yourself. It's natural. We look at ourselves in a picture. We care about our own horoscope. So just know that this is how it goes with people. And Barry gave you such great value this morning on different ways to say this. But sometimes, how we say things matters, because it's about building intrigue. How many of you are here because you're so excited about blood testing? Like, if somebody said to me before I knew any context about this, hey, do you want to be a part of something where you have to go prick people's fingers with blood? I'd be like, yeah, I don't know. That doesn't sound sexy to me. And certainly I'm not here to sell fish oil. Like, if somebody said, hey, this is fish oil. Funny enough, when Barry and I weren't really interested in the summer when we were working on other things, he's like, oh yeah, these companies keep sending me stuff. And he's like, this one, my friend's in, it's some fish oil they sent me. I had no interest in it because of how it was delivered at that time. Like, just someone saying fish oil, right? But this is different when someone says, hey, we have one of the only known proven solutions to probably the biggest world's health crisis, or certainly the underlying crisis of all known degenerative disease. Would you like to know what that is? Right? And if there was a test that could predict the future of your health and your aging, would you want to know? Right? Those are different questions that lead to the same thing, but you're addressing people's fundamental curiosity, their fundamental want to know about themselves. So there's a difference there, but don't be shy, you guys. Posture this. And so when someone says, so you're selling blood tests, or when someone says to you, so what, you're selling fish oil, please don't let people make a fool out of you. Don't let people undermine what you're doing. That is your job. You know why? Because they don't know crap. They don't know nothing about what you're doing right now or your belief. So if someone's going to say some kind of slight undermining things, first of all, if I could ever teach any principle in the world to anyone, it'd be two things. And this is what I would teach my children. First of all, know thyself. Find out what you love. Find out your gifts, and then figure out how you can give them. But the next thing I would teach everybody is train yourself to be almost impossible to offend. Train yourself to be almost impossible to offend. It is a much better, brighter world in the world when, like, because those people go, can you believe she said that? I'm like, well, why'd you even let that rattle you? Well, like that, you have the power to do that. So, but you also have the gentle power to course correct. If I know what I know and they don't know what they know, and they're saying some sort of slight under thing, don't be offended. Change it. You have the power to change that dialogue and that conversation. And then you'll say, I know selling fish oil doesn't sound that good. Well, good thing I don't sell fish oil. Good thing I have the only known proven solution to probably the biggest world's health crisis. That seems fun to me, right? That's a different kind of conversation. You get to shift that in your own mind. So with the time that we have left, get your notes out, get your paper. I'm excited to share this because I've had some, little aha moments. And I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go into two dialogues right now. The fast start donuts, the fast start of your back office, that obviously matters. because it's what we want to duplicate. And then also in that duplication process, I want us to know about this. I want us to duplicate this. I want to talk about posture. I want us to posture this because every one of us want a deal, right? We want a deal. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I came from a family, like literally my parents go to Savers. My dad wants to play a game all the time going, you like this jacket? How much? How much do you think I paid for this? I'm like, oh, here we go. And then if I say, I don't know, Dad, $8, he'd be like, $8? Look, it has gold buttons. It's got padded shoulders. Look at it. It's never even been worn. I'm like, okay, 12. He'll go, five. $5 I got this for. Like, it's this game. Like, my family has this thing where we get like turned on by a deal. Anything you can get for the deal. And so it's still kind of in me, but I think I've learned that a lot of us do want it. So how do I get the best bang for my buck, right? How do I get the best bang for my buck? So we're going to talk about that right now. I'm just going to share my screen and go to, what do I got here? My circles. Do I got that? Share. All right. Can you guys see this? We good? Thumbs up, Darlene. Can you? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to minimize us for a second. Okay. So this is my fast start overview, and just because I don't want to share anyone else's. So I'm going to go back. You guys, you just log into your back office. Okay. And your back office is here. There's lots of things to learn. If you guys are in business for yourself, this is what we used to always, right? We do these Saturday morning trainings. We do them as best we can to commune, like we said, build confidence through competence, all the things, but it's just 1 hour. It's 1 hour or less in your day, in your week. So if this is your business, I don't know what you do, like with with your time, but if this is your business, learn it like it's your business. Learn it as though there's a pop quiz that means everything on Monday, like or a week from now, right? I need to know my business inside and out. There's going to be a test, and if I fail that, my Zinzino opportunity is gone. Like, that kind of energy, that kind of urgency, that is what I want you to learn it. But this is your back office, right? Has enroll new partner. If you want to learn where you get paid, we tend to go to the same things. Finances are here, your latest enrollments, your organization, if you want to see your tree. What about my customers? But really, when you're first getting going, the thing we want to go to all the time is fast start overview when you guys are new. And for our new people, this is what we want to train them on. There are papers that show the fast start. Like, there's lots of them in our WhatsApp chats. We can make sure that people have the papers with the circles, but there's also a fast start checklist that they can do. But that checklist just mimics or mirrors these 4 donut circles. And so there are 4 steps to the fast start. We were on a long call with Nathan the other day, which was great. But it was more like dialogue, classroom setting, Q&A. So it was a longer recording. But for tight purposes here this morning, I just want to show these donuts for you. And there are 4 steps to the fast start. We were told, and we not misinformed. I'll always own if we've shared things with you that wasn't quite correct. The fast start is over the course of 120 days. But that 120 days is sectioned into 4 bits and these 4 circles and donuts. And so the first bit, which is the first one, is this reach Q team, and you get 100 pay points. Everything in Zinzino, when it says pay points, is basically your pay. It's $100 pay, and in Zinzino, that means they're euros. So for us Canadians, that's almost 1.5. So it's $148 or $150. For Americans, it's 115 when it's 100 euros. So you need to either get 4 customers, or it might be 5, that equal 20 credits, because every product here has credits attached to how much you pay for it. The one that is the most basic that I'm going to do for the basic training purposes this morning is the oil. I'm going to go back to you guys. I can't see you. I'm going to open this up. There, I can see some of you. Okay. How many credits is a bottle of balance oil? Because whether it's $45 US or 56 Canadian, how many credits is a bottle of balance oil? Does everyone know? Darlene? Okay, 4. That is just something you all should know. The balance oil is 4 credits, okay? And and it matters for this purpose. So the first step is the first step for a reason. When someone first gets involved, they say in the first 30 days, if you get 4 customers, which in Zinzino's language means 4 products, they don't care if that's 1 customer with 4 things, right? Or you could be 4 customers with 1 bottle each, sure. But you can have 4 products sold that they have to equal the 20. In my experience, in working this through in the back office, I haven't found any products that I'm buying that equaled the 20 credits with just 4. It's usually like for instance, Viva. I love it. So Viva is their saffron well-being optimized joy product. It's $35 Canadian or 30 something, but it's only 3 credits. So I would have to buy 7 Vivas to equal 21 credits. Okay. So sometimes it's between 4 and 7 products you might need to buy because it's either 4 customers or the 20 credits, whatever comes first. If you do that in your first 30 days, you get 100 euros. And if you did that in the first 30 days, because the same qualifications to get your Zin for free, by the way, these 4 circles here aren't talking about your Zin for free. However, Zinzino in their genius goes, oh, by the way, the things you would need to do in your first 30 days to get the $100 euros, oh, by the way, are exactly the same thing you need to do to get your auto ship for free, to get your Zin for free. For some of you new people on here, your auto ship or your business requirement to be in business with Zinzino is a $79 US charge or a $99 Canadian charge. That charge, yes, it includes a balance oil that comes to you every month. It also is meant to include the cost of being in business, which is your GoCore app, your back office, you not having have to do a thing for your business. It's all there, the website, your back office, everything's available to you. They ship it, they make it, they have a call center for you, all the things about business. It's like whatever, the $30 extra. And then every 4th month, they send you a balance test, which we know is 166 Canadian, 115 US, which balances all out. That's what you get for the $79 or $99. But if you have 4 customers and 20 credits, they give you that cost for free. So this is what I want you guys to write down and what I want to, if you're having a notebook and you've got pen and this is today's training, the title of what you're about to write down is how self-qualify. Okay, we're going to call it self-qualify or how to self-qualify. And again, nobody that you start up or any of you or anyone that's new, and again, for those of you, maybe I was being manipulative guys to make yourselves almost impossible to offend so that when I tell you that maybe we dropped the ball with some of you, that you will not be offended. We're doing the best that we can all the time. But we weren't trained this a month ago, right? So, and a lot of you did it anyway, but for all we can ever do, 3 of my favorite words in the human language are from now on. Okay? From now on. All that we can ever do is learn from the things from the past, and it's now from now on. So from now on, this is what I want to share, teach, train, duplicate is self-qualify. So when someone's brand new, you can say, hey, your step 1 of Fast Start, we can either help you, you can go get 4 customers, go get 20 credits. But since I believe that my UPK kit, my product kit that I just bought, because I believe that that's just my inventory for my business. That's just the inventory for my store to put on the shelves, to have in my social media, to know. I also want to be my first customer. I want to buy some of these products myself that may not even come in this kit, or maybe they do, but I want to self-qualify. And this is the numbers I want you guys to write down just for math so that you can help it make sense. And I have it written down here. So for instance, Darlene, I can see your beautiful face there, so I'm going to use you as an example. I would say, Darlene, you and I can help you go find, or if you might have 4 customers that came to mind right away today, that's fine. But if you don't, or if you want to just seal the deal on this, is that I want to help you know that you could self-qualify. I don't know about you guys, but I love that language because as much as I, you know, want to trust other people in my life, know that we are here to commune with one another and whatever. My personal life, I like to at least know that I can control the outcome, that my outcome is not dependent on convincing somebody else to do something. So I just like the option. So I'm going to say, Darlene, we can go find 4 customers, but just so that you know, with Zinzino, you can be your own customer, and so that you can self-qualify for this, so it's not leaving it up to somebody else. And I'll tell you why, because I don't know about you, but if you're like me, I love a good deal. And what if you could get 4 or 5 bottles of this balance oil that you're so excited about that you joined us in business? What if you could get 5 bottles of this balance oil for basically 90% off, like, or, whatever? You'd be like, okay. So I'm like, I'm just going to show you how this works. Um, and for you guys, what we just talked about, if Darlene decides to, I'm going to say, Darlene, if you bought 5 bottles of oil yourself, right? Or we're using that as an example because I know that how many credits are the oil? 4. Okay. So if I bought 5 bottles of oil, right? I now know that that would be the 20 credits that would satisfy the system for that. In Canada, 5 bottles of oil at $56 is like $280. Okay. That might seem like a lot. But Darlene, if you buy these 5 bottles of oil that you want to have available to you anyway, we're not here to gift a lot of things, but suddenly when you get a real deal on things, your generosity seems to be higher about like wanting to gift these to people after they've done a test. But if you guys buy 5 bottles of oil, so on your notes, put, $280. But if you buy 5 bottles of oil your first month, over and above you're just being your first customer, $280. If you do that, Darlene, you're going to qualify. This first little circle on your fast start, you're going to see that coveted green check mark because you're going to have qualified, because it's 4 customers. It's actually going to show 5 customers because you have 5 bottles of oil. Those 5 bottles of oil equal the 20 credits. So now you've satisfied your fast start circle 1. And when you do that, Darlene, they're going to give you €100, which in Canada is $150, $148, right? 150. So suddenly that 280, let's just take off 150, right? But Darlene, also, if you do that in your first 30 days, it's now qualified you as a rep in this business for your Zin for free. So the 99 Canadian dollars that you're going to be charged next month now will not be charged to you because you've qualified. The same qualifications for the Zin for free same qualifications for your first circle are the same qualifications to get your Zin for free. So Darlene, that 280 minus 150, I need you to minus another 99. Okay. What's left there, you guys, is whether it's $31, 33, I don't know, it's $30. I don't know about you, Darlene, but this balance oil that I think is as valuable as gold, to get 5 bottles of oil for a net cost of $30, it's like, you guys see that IKEA commercial way back in the day? We're like, start the car, start the car. It just seems too good to be true. It's like, start the car. Now, Darlene, you don't have to do this, but I just want you to know that that's a strategy that would A, get your first circle checked off, B, get yours in for free. And it's just such a great head start because you're going to get 5 bottles of oil for a really cheap price. And now we also have an extra month to maybe get 4 other customers. If you don't want to continue this, like if you don't want to continue buying 5 bottles of oil, you've now got a great head start to get your own customers where you wouldn't need to do that. Your Zin for free would, come up anyway. Can I get any questions, any comments, any love on that? Does that make sense to everybody? I just want to make sure.
Ariana, just to add that it has to be done in the first calendar month that you joined, not the 30 days.
So, great comment. One of those things is true. So the first in fast start circle 1, you do have 30 days. Okay. But the Zin for free, you only have till the end of the calendar month. And so this is a really important conversation to have with someone that kind of gets involved. It's really great if somebody gets involved on, like today, let's say it's the 21st, or like let's say they get involved on the 27th of February. Here's the cool news. They're super stoked. And I'd want to get them involved on the 28th and now not sandbag it like some people do to the 1st, because I would get them involved in the 28th. I'm going to go, Darlene, lucky you. You've got 2 days. If we do this today, you're going to get your Zin for free, right, next month. Like, you're never going to pay for a Zin for free. You're never going to pay for your auto ship, right? So, but just so you know, so this first circle is the only one where you do have 30 days to get it done, to get the €100. But I want to sit with everybody as part of our fast start and say, I can help you get circle done, your first circle done now. And anyways, and Nathan was showing me this math, and I was like, why? Again, does anyone have to do what you're suggesting? Heck no. But if I found out later that that was available to me, that I could have got 5 bottles of this liquid gold for $30 net and gotten my check mark thing, whatever. So again, there's a lot of us on here that weren't taught this, weren't told this. It's from now on. Okay. All that we want to do is make this available to people to feel successful. Darlene.
Yeah, make sure that when you order your 4 products or your 5 products, that it is on subscription, because it won't count if it's not.
Correct. So we always want to just make sure people are going to subscribe. There's a shop button in the subscribe. Yeah, Win.
And it's also create a customer account, not from your back office account.
Yeah, I would just always give people your shopping link. Like, give people your referral link. When you give people for your referral link, they're shopping from your storefront, not from your back office, right?
No, I mean, if we are buying our own and qualifying ourselves, we need to create a customer account for us, not from our back office site.
Yeah, so you would go to your own storefront like you were, even though it's you and it's your storefront, just purchase it like you're a customer. Absolutely. And how great that Zinzino allows this to do this. You guys, I just love it because they're not here to control people. They know that humans will do humans anyway. You guys have been a part of companies where when they don't allow us to do something, we end up signing up Fred Flintstone and our cat and our niece anyway. We do it. And it's stupid because then people who are really normally like we're just good, honest people, but you're like, anytime you have to create an environment where people feel like they got to do something in the dark or that they're doing something a little like, no, I hate that. Like, just let people do what they're going to do. But that is the fast start that I wanted to share. The other thing that oh, it's already 10. Okay, I don't want to interrupt what our other leaders are doing. So this was what I wanted to share today is how to get through the first circle and to self-qualify to do that. And then I just want to reiterate what we learned this week. And we learned things the hard way, unfortunately, right? Because there's some speed. And I'm just going to say it this way. Yes, for a lot of you, you'll have your third circle will have a lock around it. Okay. It'll have a lock behind it because it says you can't unlock this third circle, the third step in your fast start until your second step is done. As much as that is true on this visual, that I won't be able to see behind this third circle or know what's going on until I get my 2. This second circle is you've got 60 days to get 2 partners. But there was a bit of confusion thinking that you had to get your 2 partners before anything that was going on behind the curtain, behind the third circle with the lock would count. So they thought, well, I have to get my 2, and then when this third circle unlocks, it would be a 0. No, there's stuff going on behind the curtain that when you get your 2 in the first 60 days, don't worry about if there's been some other things going on because it will be revealed to you. Nothing's for nothing. Now, the only time this would count, you guys, if you have no partners, then nothing's going on behind curtain number 3, right? Nothing, because 0 compounding on 0 is 0. But what happens is if you have one partner, let's say you signed up one person and that person is a bit of a cheetah. Now, what I've learned in life is don't tell a cheetah not to be fast. Okay. Nor do we even want to say, oh, could you just slow down for a hot minute while I get my act together and get my second person? That doesn't even feel good. Doesn't feel right. We're not doing that. So if you had one person and they're getting busy, don't worry. You do need to get your second person. But when you do, and this unlocks, the activity that is available there will be rewarded to you for your fast start. So again, that just feels intuitively right and the way to go. But that is our training for you this morning. As you know, Artie and and Larry Raskin do our big team call every Saturday morning, and our very own Nathan Goldberg is the guest today. And a lot of that has to do with Bedrock and the momentum that we've all brought to them and Nathan's team. So if you guys want to hop over there and contribute, I appreciate you all so much. We will get this dialed in. I hope that, well, we are getting it dialed in. Life is always it's always people are like, well, I'm a work in progress. I'm like, honey, I'm still a work in progress. Like we're all, but we will get this so dialed in for you, so that you feel so confident and, more importantly, so proud and enthusiastic to share. Please understand, enthusiasm is the greatest, most transferable human emotion. I'm begging you guys as a bedrock, because, and you're already here because you already are this, but remember, it's a reminder, you get to be good energy. You get to spread great energy. And more importantly, always, if you can't see the bright side, be the bright side, means you get to bring your own energy in every conversation, in every room. And then collectively we do that together. So I'm going to stop this recording now.